I'm just gonna start explaining the basic things what she's wearing. This is not kimono. This is a undergarment, underwear. So we're gonna put kimono on over it. You can see it's a lovely patterns of butterfly. This is all silk, and then it's hand sewed. So kimono, most of them are hand sewed, especially expensive kimono. We never use sewing machine, but these cotton kimonos these days they are sewn by the sometimes not made in Japan, sometimes yeah, but still very expensive silk kimonos, nagajiban, all these things are mostly made in Japan, and then yeah, with traditional way. So you can see she's got black lovely color with the cherry blossom on there. This is called hangeri. We can change the color with different pattern. You can see I've got different pattern. Yuko has different color. So, but for the formal occasion, we only wear white. For example, if you go to tea ceremony, all the people probably wearing plain white. We can't wear the patterns ones. White is the most traditional formal way to do it. But because she's wearing frisole, which is the young lady's kimono, we've got beautiful embroidered cherry blossom hanging. Okay, and then for her socks, she's wearing casual socks, but we call the socks tabi. In Chinese characters, we put ta is the legs, and then b is the pouch. So tabi is for kimono, and I'm wearing two. This is very traditional. We've got two separate ones, one for thumb, one for the other leg, the other feet. Okay, so that's what she's wearing, and then just the back. Okay, so you can see how we have a little bit of space behind the neck. That started because in kimono we are not showing much of the skin, but taking some of the showing some of behind the neck is a little bit more sexy. And then also the other reason is when we are wearing kimono, we used to have big wigs. So if the color is behind, it doesn't fit. So that's why we start taking off the back of the color. Okay, so that's it. And then she's got very nice, no wrinkles, and then very nice straight back, and then holding, using this strings called gatijime to hold everything in place. If this one's loose, then everything becomes a bit loose. But now she's putting nicely and then holding it with this gatijime, the strings. Okay, let's get started for kimono. Yuko can show you the kimono. Today I brought the kimono from Okinawa, which is the south of Japan. This is called ringata. Ring is like red, and then gata is the shape. So this is more little bit like a stencil, but we have the typical patterns like butterflies and then these colors. But the most popular way of dyeing for ringata is that the end of each color has the darker color. So this one is red and then black. This one's pink to red. You can see the color, the edge is used for darker color. Okay? Yes. Right. So she's going to put it on. You can see the red color inside. This is called hakkake. In here, lines, this one. This is because we all have the kimono, the winter kimono, we have lines like this one. I've got white and purple. She's got red. This is for when we walk or when we, the kimono, the fabric shows the behind, we shows the nice color. So when Suzu-chan walk around, you can see the red color from the back. Okay. So now she's got really long sleeves. Now Yuko-san is putting the nagajiban and kimono together. So we actually made the nagajiban, the undergarment, same size as the kimono. So we never wear the underneath kimono shorter than this one. It has to be made exactly same length for this kimono. And then maybe some of you know we wear kimono left over right side. Now she's putting the best part of the kimono, left side, in the front. For wearing kimono, we start from bottom of the body, and then we make the upper body. The length of the kimono, summer casual kimono, is a little bit shorter. As it gets more formal, it's almost like touching the floor. And then some of you might know the very formal wedding kimono, we drag the kimono. And then we have some weight, like fabric weight at the bottom of on the bottom of the kimono. So this part is very important because this is the front of the kimono. Now she's adjusting the length of the kimono. The strings, she just put it on here. This is very important to keep the kimono in place. If this one is up or down, the length of the kimono will be different, the upper body, and then also it's going to come down. So very important string to do. Now she's starting the top of the body. Let's put the sleeves around so it's not going to be in the way. Good. Okay, so I told you this is kimono from Okinawa. Okinawa is a very hot area in Japan, so they have tropical weather, and then so that's why they use really bright color. Lots of kimonos, like Yuko's wearing too, this is very subtle color. We often use it from the plant. We dye the kimono from plant. But this one, Okinawa kimono bingata, we always use the artificial, not the plant, not from the plant. It's got lots of patterns, like it's got the pine, which is one of our very important patterns for kimono. Birds, butterfly, flowers, birds. It's all meaning of happiness or long life. Good luck for the young lady for the rest of the life. So she was using another strings called korimberuto, not like just strings, to keep the kimono, the top layer, to be in place to show you the beautiful cherry blossom embroidery around the neck. As you know, the kimono doesn't have any buttons or zippers or any hook. We only wear the kimono with the strings like this, or a little bit wider one, two other strings. Thank you, fun. It's all good. Everyone's enjoying. Okay, so the model is very tall today. She's about 170 centimeters. So the pattern comes here, but if the short girl wear kimono, we don't show this kimono's pattern very well. So if I advise someone to wear kimono and then who is shorter, I recommend for maybe shorter, smaller patterns, not these big patterns and then coming up to here. We call this kimono's color mustard color. It's like a mustard color shade. In Japan, some of the monks wear this one as well. This is a very high level people's color too. She's almost finished the top part. She's going to use another string called datejime to try and keep everything in place. you can see how she goes up to down. That's to take off the wrinkles around the chest. It's better not to have wrinkles. It's really hard because our body has lots of curves, waist and then breast and then the bottom, but kimono is straight line. So we have to kind of make sure the straight, almost like a paper, to put on the body has the curves. Okay, so kimono is finished. Susan, can you turn right? So kimono part is finished. You can see how she's got a bit of space there. We use this clip to keep everything together. And then she's got beautiful patterns there and then here too. So expensive kimono, we have the patterns connected to all this fabric. Even though this is sewn, the patterns connected all around the kimono. My one is almost the same. This purple pattern goes around and then here. More casual kimono has the patterns all over or not connected like this. Now she's going to do the sash, which is the middle of the kimono. We use different patterns. You can choose different patterns of kimono, but today we are going to use this black one with the gold, real gold embroidery. Yes. So this is really long. And then we are going to put around Susan's body twice and then make some flowers or ribbons on the back. Yes. You can see how beautiful it is. Can you see how long it is? Yeah. Okay. So we start from holding into half and then she's going to wrap around twice. So normally, like I'm wearing kimono, I can do it by myself like in 20 minutes. But for furisode kimono like this, because we make more nice, beautiful shapes, we need someone else to put it on. Yuko-san wore her kimono by herself too. So just simple ones, we can wear kimono, but those ones are special. We need someone else help. So Yuko-san has been learning kimono. I'm a kimono teacher as well. We can't just do this suddenly. We have to learn, go to school to learn, and then learn everything about kimono, and then we can do this one. She put some boards, cardboard between the obi, the front one, here, just to make sure because this one is nice and straight. If it doesn't have any cardboard in here, then all the wrinkles, when we put we can see all the wrinkles when we put the last strings like this. So obi is the same. We are not using anything else. We are just tying the knot at the back. She's going to show you. So now she's making a knot with the sash and then start making the shape afterwards. Okay, so the one she's holding, this one is like a little pillow. We call it obi makura, which is like the cushion for the string, a cushion for the obi to make the volume. And then, yeah, so this obi, when she makes the shape, it's more like volume and then big one. And then this one she's going to use is called sambon. It's like the normal strings, but it's got 3 elastic here. This one we use for when she makes the shape. We want to keep everything close to her body. So this one will hold very close to her body. You see it soon. Okay, so she's going to put this one first because she's going to start making the shape. And for us, we tie the knot in the front and then we keep everything under the obi, under the side. Today she's going to do the basic shapes called zunko, which is like a ribbon. Maybe we make it a little bit bigger this time, so it's a little bit like coming down. Lots of maiko, when you go to Kyoto, lots of maiko has this type of shape. But sometimes maiko has really long one, like almost touch with the model. So just to keep the shape, she's going to use an elastic, just normal like hair tie or something to keep the holding lines. So we can see the lovely bow tie looking. So now she put the elastic around in the middle and then using the sambo himo, which has the 3 elastics to keep everything in place. So now she put one of the side through the first one and then second elastic. Now she's putting another one between the second and then third one. We have to keep it closer to the body, otherwise, because this obi is heavy, later on the obi might come down. So we just have to keep everything very close to the body. So we have to make sure we have the cloth between, otherwise it comes down. So she's making sure everything is holding close to the model's body. Now she's going to use the pillow I explained to make it more volume. So it's going to be lift up. And this one has to be very tight and in closer to the body. How do you feel, Soo-chan? Okay. Okay. So when we make a knot, it feels like it's very tight, but as soon as we make a knot, we push it in at the almost middle of the obi. Then we don't feel like it's so tight. We can live for the day. Yeah, and then she can eat, she can drink. Now she's going to use obiage, which is to cover the pillow, because the pillow doesn't look good. So we use different color, different patterns, fabric. This is all silk to cover the pillow. So we chose lovely red because we've got some red color in the kimono. Now she's covering up the pillow we used. This one will be seen on the side of the model or sometimes from the back. So So she's making sure the ribbons are wide enough to make it more nice. Okay, the last thing we are going to use is called obijime, which goes in the middle of the obi. This one is beautiful. I still chose the red and then black and then gold red, picking up the color from the kimono. And then she's going to finish up the back and then also make some shapes in the front. So we have many styles of obi. This is only a part of it, and this is one of the basic ones. Otherwise, we have so many ways to make the shapes on the back. So even just the little things like this is all made of silk, which this one called kumihimo. So the silk thread is all weaved to make this beautiful patterns. Now she's fixing up the obiage, which comes in the front. It shows little bit above the obi, but it also adds another color to make it even more gorgeous for the free-for-it. And for young people like this, we normally choose more obiage or all the colors than normal people. After this, I'm going to ask Yuko and then Sue-chan for the experience, and then also if you have any questions, you can ask Q&A to the model, to the dresser, or me. And also after the model wear the kimono, she's going up there. If you want to take photo with her, you can take photo for your memory of visiting Sakura, Japanese garden. Okay, so can you see the leg fabric here? When she walks, this one usually shows like this. And then this is the one she was wearing at the beginning. The underwear, we also have different color. So if you are looking at someone wearing kimono, you can see the beautiful color coordination. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Finishing up, the model Sun-chan can turn around and then show you the completed furisode dress. Okay, turn around. Thank you. Okay, can we just
worth it. It's worth it. It's very beautiful. Okay, Yuko-san.